याद आई जाने क्या तेरी बात, नींद ना आई सारी रात, तुम भी चुप थे हम भी चुप थे, इसको कहते हैं हालात। आज है सोमवार और रूप आपके सामने फिर हाजिर हो गई है। हमारा प्यार कबूल कीजिए। आपके सवाल और आपके जवाब, आप तो जानते हैं आपके सवाल और आपके जवाब में हम किसी न किसी ऐसी शख्सियत को लेकर आते हैं जिससे आपको बहुत फायदा होता है। आपके फायदे के साथ साथ हमें भी काफी कुछ मिलता है, काफी नॉलेज मिलता है, काफी ज्ञान मिलता है उन लोगों से। और हमारे साथ आज हैं ब्रह्मचारी दीना प्रभु जी। हम इनका स्वागत करते हैं। वी वेलकम यू ऑन रूपा और आप।
Hare Krishna.
Please tell us something about yourself.
I'm a humble disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Damodara Swami Sripad Maharaj. He was also known in the scientific world as Dr. T.D. Singh. And I've been studying and teaching Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavad Dharma for the last nearly 20 years. And with my Guru Maharaj's blessings, I discovered a very simple way of teaching people to pronounce Sanskrit very perfectly using the Romanized script, using phonetics, and with the help of a friend of mine who lives in Auckland, Peter Ho, I've simplified the teaching process using some accelerated learning techniques. And the result is that within 4 lessons of 2 hours each, we are able to get people, even Westerners or even Indians who are born with a Western accent, like myself, third generation born out of India, to be able to correct their pronunciation defects.
Yes, that is what I was going to ask you, that what is a Sanskrit pronunciation?
Oh, okay. In the Sanskrit language, the alphabets are pronounced, and the sound of each alphabet is defined, as in my Bhagavad Gita book here, by the position of the tongue.
Yeah.
There are 5 sound production centers at the back of the tongue. When the contact touches, where the back of the tongue touches the back of the mouth, the sounds are ka, ka, ga, ga, nga. So there are 5 in that point. And then there are 5 in the middle here, cha, cha, ja, ja, nya. Then if you curl the tip of your tongue up this way to the ridge, where the sloping part, where the gums meets the roof, there is a line there. And here you have ta, ta, da, da, na. And in the Romanized version, all of those letters have a dot under them. The next one is on the tip of your teeth. If you bite your tongue, ta, ta, da, da, na. And the last one on the lips, pa, pa, ba, ba, ma. So one who has an anglicized accent, he cannot hear many of these sounds. But instead of teaching him to hear, he can start to feel. These 25 sounds are called 25 sparshas, and sparsha means to touch. So if you become conscious, like if you keep saying ka, 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 you can feel where your tongue is touching. And then keeping that, it's as if you've been driving an automatic car for 20 years. Now we teach you how to drive manual. Then you'll be able to control your tongue, and then you can produce sounds which otherwise are spontaneously produced and sometimes wrongly. They're influenced by our other mother tongue or any other language that you know.
Do they understand?
The students who come have been giving very, very good feedback so far, and I have been satisfied with the progress. And we give them a CD to practice, and it's very easy for them to actually come to understand it, because for one thing we bypass the need to learn so many hundreds of Devanagari alphabets, new alphabets, and that's a fear. Many people have, I have to learn so many new alphabets, I'm not going to do it. But this system of Romanized Sanskrit we use is called IAST. It stands for International Alphabet for Sanskrit Transliteration. If you look up Wikipedia, you'd find it. For those who are interested, it's quite interesting. It was established in 1912 in Athens. Oh. So it's very perfect, and it's now become like the main standard. There are a few different systems, but this system has been adopted by the Calcutta Library and other institutes, but maybe with a few modifications. I've modified it slightly also just by adding in slashes after all the long syllables. So in English, they don't know when it's long and short. If I say sit or seat, they are 2 different words.
Yeah.
In Hindi, you would write it very differently. In English, the vowels change also. So then, for all those that are on the cerebra, ta, ta, da, da, na.
Yeah, you were saying something of the dot.
Yes,
here.
They have dots under them. And as I was saying, dot, it reminds that, like when we put your tongue up, you say dot. Like in South Indians, say dot. So whenever you see a dot, you curl your tongue up. So you can have that. Whereas if you read it in Devanagari, you may not be so well guided. You may have to struggle to remember, is this the one on the teeth or is this the one inside? Because they are all quite similar. And then you have another thing, that in Sanskrit, the alphabets, like in Hindi, ka, ka, ga, ga, nga. So the aspirated ones can be seen very clearly in Romanized, because all of them will have a letter H there. C-A would be cha, C-H-A would be cha, K-A would be ka, K-H-A would be ka. And we teach them to correct their pronunciation, for example, by putting their hand in front of their mouth to feel the air coming out. A, there's no air. Ha, hot air. So you say ka.
Oh, it's
no
very
air.
difficult, I think.
Ka. No, it's not difficult. The method is simple.
No, for them.
Oh, for them. No, but when they can feel it, then they can do it. And we tell them to move the diaphragm, keep the fan. It's physical.
And it's a good exercise.
It is. Because normally the teachers tend to speak and hope the student will hear. But it's better not to, because the ear is deaf to the sounds which lie outside the spectrum of the mother tongue. Okay. Only 3 or 4 weeks after they start practicing with our CD, then they began to hear the differences. That was my experience. 6 months after my father started trying to teach me, then I could hear the differences, and I was amazed how come I couldn't hear it before. And this brought me to the conclusion why many Indians cannot teach Sanskrit to anyone. Do you know why? I don't mean it in a bad way.
No, yeah, why?
Every Indian language is so phonetic. So I could see that my father couldn't understand my deafness or my lack of a sense of phonetics, even though I speak English very well. But I couldn't hear when he was telling me, your brother's name is not Dinesh, his name is Dinesh. And I said, it's the same thing.
Oh, yeah, it's a D.
Because it's a D. In my
Yeah.
mind, it's a D, you know. And we write T-H-E in English, but we don't say the, we say the. It's a D sound, actually. So he didn't know, because what I mean is since childhood they're speaking phonetically, therefore they already have a sense of phonetics developed, so they know that this alphabet means this sound. But people who speak English don't have that direct connection, because the alphabet A has one sound in apple. You know, I used to make a joke, A is for apple. No, A is for apple.
Ape.
A is for ape.
Ape.
A
Yeah,
is for
very
ape.
true.
See,
Yeah.
that's why. So the vowel changes its sounds, but we don't realize it. And that's why in English dictionaries, next to the spelling, you have in brackets the, what do you call it? Phonetics, to tell you how to pronounce it. And that also is not standardized. Different dictionaries have different systems of standardization. So when an Englishman reads the word, it's actually just like reading Mandarin. You recognize the particular character and the sound comes.
Like Geo go and Dio do.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And we don't think of it, you know, but a person who learned phonetics would. But so here we are able to reprogram them, because very often when people read the Romanized also, English takes over. In their mind, they are thinking it's English. So therefore, they do not know what these little dots and dashes are. They're called diacritics. And so if I ask somebody, I tried it in my class the other day, I asked them to write Narayana with the diacritics, the dots and dashes in the correct place. Nobody could really get it right. You know why? Just as I said, the ear is deaf to those sounds which lie outside the spectrum of the mother tongue. In the same way, the eye is blind to all these dots and dashes that are there, because they only recognize the ABCD. They don't know what these things mean, so they cannot say. So we discovered an interesting way using accelerated learning technique. We make them draw the tables with only the diacritics in there, without the alphabets. So when they can see only the diacritics, then they begin to realize, oh, that's the pattern. Now I know where these darts go.
I think you're South Indian, is it?
Oh,
Because
yes,
your
very
tongue
much.
is very
Oh, yes. I can speak like my grandfather if I want to.
Oh, okay. What are the 2 projects you're working on?
They're both related to this wonderful book, Bhagavad Gita. One was that I didn't know I had discovered something so wonderful at first with this Sanskrit, and I have to thank my mother for being a very lousy student. The more I tried to teach her what I learned from my father, and she wasn't really interested, then I simplified it for her, and simplified it, and simplified. And as I simplified, I began to notice different patterns emerging. And then I started breaking it up, drawing circles in, and all these things. And that helped me to enjoy, and I started playing kartals also, because I found out that the number of vowels on every line, in every shloka, was always the same. And I was fascinated by that, you know. And then I discovered I could sing it. And I used to sing, for example, the Brahma Samhita every morning before breakfast at home.
Yeah, I think you can sing some shlokas.
Oh, acha?
Yeah.
Well, okay, I'll sing one shloka of the Brahma Samhita. Chintamani prakara sadma sukalpa vriksha lakshavarteshu surabhirabhipalayantam Lakshmi sahasrashata sambhrama sevyamanam Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami.